What's going on, y'all? It's David or David back with another build video. In this video, I'll be covering my Frost Knight build for Kaeya. The Frost Knight build has tons of DPS through physical damage, while also able to deal high crit numbers through your cryo abilities, all while staying alive with tons of innate healing. My weapon of choice for this build is the Battle Pass sword, the Black Sword. The Black Sword gives you plenty of attack, and its critical hit rate substat really helps you dish out a lot of damage by allowing you to use crit damage on your circlet. Although the best part about it is its incredibly useful two-part weapon skill. The first part just gives you a base 20% bonus damage to your normal and charge attacks, which is already good enough of a weapon skill, but on top of that, every 5 seconds, landing a critical hit with your normal or charge attacks will give you 60% of your attack back as health, meaning that the higher your attack is, the bigger the heal for this weapon skill. The Black Sword is pretty much the perfect DPS weapon for this build, but if you haven't bought the Battle Pass or just didn't choose the sword, don't worry because I have other viable sword options, both for my pay-to-win players and my free-to-play players. For my pay-to-win players, good news is that there are huge amounts of insane swords that you can use for this build. The two that come to mind are the Skyward Blade and the Kaeya. The Skyward Blade comes with energy recharge percent as the substat and gives you a small amount of increased crit rate, but once you use the burst, the magic really starts happening. After using your elemental burst, you gain an increase in movement speed, an increase in attack speed, and an increase in normal and charge attack damage for 12 seconds. This bonus is amazing because after you burst with Kaeya, you want to be up close and personal anyways, and the cooldown is short enough to keep up major DPS. The Kaeya on the other hand just offers you raw damage with physical damage as its substat, the first part of its weapon skill just giving you a raw 20% increase to your attack percent. And the second part of the weapon skill activates when you take damage, giving you HP regeneration while also dealing a huge AoE nuke surrounding you, scaling off of your attack. If you aren't lucky enough to have those, then don't worry because these are 3 great budget options: Cool Steel, the Skyrider Sword, and the Festering Desire. Cool Steel and the Skyrider Sword are both 3-star weapons, but don't be fooled because they are very easy to refine and give some terrific bonuses. Cool Steel gives you a bonus attack percent when max refined, and you deal 24% bonus damage to enemies affected by Cryo or Hydro, which should be mega easy to do with Kaeya. The Skyrider Sword gives you plenty of energy recharge percent, and when max refined, you gain a 24% increase to your attack and movement speed after using your elemental burst. The Festering Desire is the one you gain from the Dragonspine quests, and it is very good when max refined for Frost Knight Kaeya. It gives you a large amount of energy recharge percent, and its weapon seal gives your elemental skill 32% bonus damage and 12% increased crit rate, also supporting you to be able to use crit damage on your circlet just like the Black Sword does. Moving on to the artifacts, while there are plenty of fantastic options like Noblesse or Gladiator, the recent Dragonspine update was when my Frost Knight Kaeya build really came into fruition with the Blizzard Strayer artifact set being released. The Blizzard Strayer 2-piece gives you bonus cryo damage, while the 4-piece gives your character 20% bonus crit rate when attacking an enemy affected by cryo, but a 40% bonus to crit rate when attacking an enemy that is frozen. If you have been following along with the build up to this point, you'll realize this build has tons of built-in crit rate to dish out some meaty crits. If you aren't quite there yet to where you can farm for the set, don't worry because the 2-piece or the 4-piece of Braveheart or Martial Artist will do the trick until you can farm for Blizzard. The main stats for your artifacts that you want to be looking for Frost Knight Kaeya are attack percent on your sands, attack percent on your goblet, and crit damage percent on your circlet. The sand slot doesn't really have anything else better than attack percent for damage, so that was an easy choice. The goblet slot, however, was tricky. I was running cryo damage percent before, but I just recently swapped to attack percent instead because I found myself basic attacking far more, and it just made more sense to pair with that with the Black Sword for the heals and the passive. That being said, however, if you are using some sort of energy recharge percent weapon like the Festering Desire, you should for sure go cryo damage on this slot since you'll have your burst online a lot more often. Finally, the circlet slot, crit damage percent just makes sense with all of the innate crit rate that this build offers. The substats that you want to be prioritizing are crit rate and crit damage percent firstly, followed by attack percent, and then everything else after doesn't really matter too much. Frost Knight Kaeya doesn't really rely on constellation levels. I just recently got mine to C1, and the build was working perfectly fine at C0. However, I will go over which constellation levels that I believe offer the biggest upgrades once you hit them. At C1, you get another boost to crit rate, this one increasing your normal and charge attack crit rate by 15% against frozen or cold enemies. meaning that just combined with your artifact set bonus, you gain 55% bonus crit against frozen enemies already, just as like the base stat. At C3, you get 3 free upgrades to your elemental skill Frostgnaw, increasing its damage, and then finally at C6, your burst generates 4 icicles instead of 3, along with returning 15 energy, which is actually a lot since it only costs 60 energy. Moving on to Kaeya's talents, I recommend maxing them in this order: basic attacks, elemental skill, then elemental burst. This order just makes the most sense because it is the order in which you use them the most. If you are using the Festering Desire, you could definitely make the case of leveling your elemental skill first before your attack, but either way your burst should come last. His Ascension talents are both very good. His first Ascension talent regenerates HP equal to 15% of his attack for each enemy hit with his elemental skill. This talent gives you insane sustain combined with the Black Sword passive, giving you some helpful health returns. His fourth Ascension talent drops extra elemental particles when you freeze with Frostgnaw, basically just providing you with more energy recharge for your entire team. Building a team around Kaeya is very easy because he does plenty of damage and can apply cryo in the blink of an eye. Pairing him with another cryo unit will unlock the team resonance bonus, giving you even more crit rate against cryo affected enemies. Pairing him with a Hydra unit will allow for easy freeze reactions to gain that 40% bonus crit from your artifacts. Pairing him with a fire unit will give you the most damage due to melt reactions, and even just pairing him with an electro unit will make your basic attacks do even more damage from superconduct. I like to bring Kaeya into the Abyss as a DPS character and into the Cecilia Garden domain for weapon mats. I'll let the clips of both of those play out for the rest of the video. Thank you all for watching and sticking around to the end. I hope that this video helped, I really do. If it did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button down below. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, it's only $3 and free cents to subscribe, so make sure you hit that and the notification bell on your way out. Drop me a comment down below with who you want to see next video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya!
この瞬間、お前は永遠を手にする。お前って本当にせっかちだな。すまんな。みんながそばにいて。両豆立ち去れ。救急によりおとなしくしやがる。
影のカラスが
この瞬間、お前は永遠を手にする。我が命を引きたまおとなしくしやがれ。風邪ひくなよ。剣を入れよ。全力攻撃だ。すまんすまん。これこれ風邪ひくなよ。こいつはどうだ。これ剣を入れよ。この瞬間、 お前は永遠を手にする。やっはい。
断罪の名に
救急によりこいつはどうだ。
みんながそばにいてくれるわ。
これやっはい。この瞬間お前こいつはどうだ。はいはいふっこれ
I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. You're